Okay, we're live. Three, two, one. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Live with Leo at 5. Thank you for joining me. Let me give you a few seconds here for people to jump on while I get set up here with our guest. Okay, we're live. Okay.
I see it in red, live on Facebook.
Yes. Yes, so wait a second here for people to jump on. Hello, hello, hello. So thank you so much, by the way, for coming on such short notice.
Oh, no problem. It's my pleasure. This is fun.
Yeah. Um, so, um, welcome everybody to Live with Leo at 5. We have a special guest here who I am so excited to talk with. She has some amazing projects that she's going to let us know about that she's been working on. And I've been hearing a lot about it. And so I want to hear about it too. When you guys jump on, please go ahead and give us a quick comment. Let us know that you can hear us. And then if you're watching this live, please go ahead and comment the word live. And if you're watching on a replay, just go ahead and comment replay so we know where you're coming from. So today I have Branda Lin. Sorry, we were just talking about that. She was a Branda Lee and now she's a Branda Lin. And she is a resident here currently in Irvine. And I got connected with her through the Irvine City Councilwoman Farah Khan, and she had been telling me about the great work that Branda's been doing, helping volunteer and doing some great things here in Irvine. And she is the current Irvine Community Services Commissioner and a volunteer driver for Meals on Wheels as well. Welcome, Brenda.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Now, before we get to all the real juicy stuff, what is your kind of your background as far as you know? Give us kind of like a quick story, like where you were born and how you ultimately ended up here in Orange County. I don't even know if you were born and raised here, so would love to know that as well.
Sure. I actually was brought home from the hospital to Irvine. At the time, there were no hospitals in Irvine. So I was born in Fountain Valley, but our home was in Irvine. So basically as close to, born and raised in Irvine as you can get at the time. Grew up here, went to elementary, middle, high school, and college here. I went to USC for a year, but I transferred to UCI, and that's another story for another day. But yeah, Irvine is in my blood. And after I got married, I moved to the East Coast because my husband had to finish up his training. And we were there, and then I got pregnant, had my son, and I was dying to come back. And so, opportunities were kind of hard at the time, and it took a while for my husband to find the right fit. But we were able to finally move back to Irvine in 2014, the end of 2014, and we've been loving it since. I mean, this is home for me, my hometown, and I have a lot of Irvine pride. I love the city. All my memories of growing up, all during those fundamental years are all here. So yeah, now we're here and we have 2 kids, and I live in the neighborhood of Cypress Village.
Great, awesome, great, newish neighborhood,
Yes.
Which I'm very familiar with. So now you were in the East Coast. What, if you don't mind, what state or city that you were in the East Coast?
Sure. We got married in New York City, and we lived there for a few years, and then we ended up moving to New Jersey once we had our son. So yeah, New York and New Jersey.
I see. So that's pretty far East Coast. Like sometimes when we hear East Coast, it might not be fully east to east.
Right.
So, but definitely a lot of seasons, a lot of cold winters and stuff there. How many years were you guys out there?
A total of 8 years. 8 years. My husband was there longer. I actually moved out after college to New York City. And then after 2.5 years, moved back to California. We got married, and then I ended up moving back to New York. But yeah, we were there during Hurricane Sandy, Hurricane Irene, and having grown up in Irvine, I was
Yeah.
not used to the winters. New York City is a lot of fun. Manhattan's a lot of fun, but the suburbs were it took a lot of getting used to for me. And it's just, I miss the sun. The winters are rough. Shoveling snow is just not my thing. I thought it'd be fun and easy, and it's backbreaking work.
It's definitely not easy. When you see it on the internet, it's just like 10 seconds worth of somebody has, it does not show exactly what it takes.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I personally had almost, I lived in Orange County all my life too. And at one point I had contemplated moving to Chicago. So
Ah.
same kind of experience. I mean, in one year I took about 5 or 6 vacations, like all different areas, like all up along West Coast, up in the Northwest, and then down in Florida, down in the Midwest. Went to like Ohio, ended up in Chicago. I drove from Memphis, Tennessee, all the way up to Chicago, and
Mm.
so saw like all of the Midwest there. And I really loved Chicago. And then when I went, it was during the summertime, and when I was like, I was telling a friend that I was staying with over there, I said, I really like it. I think I might, want to move here. She goes, come back in the winter.
Especially if you're from SoCal, it's tough. The winters are rough.
Yeah, so I did, and I spent a couple of weeks, like around Christmas time, and it finally did snow. And I'll just tell the story real quick. I'm driving to the airport at like 5 in the morning. It's
Mhm.
relatively dark, and it's been snowing because that one night it snowed like 2 feet.
Oh my
And
God.
so like overnight, like the night before it was like hardly any snow at all. Snow like 2 feet. And when I got up, my friend said, "Hey, are you ready to go? I've already dug out the car." I said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Oh, okay." So I got all packed and went outside, and went into the car, and she goes, "Hey, would you do me a favor and scrape out the windshield?" And I was like, "What do you mean?"
With what? I don't know.
So she goes, "Here." She gives me a credit card, and I go, "What do I do with this?" I just held it in my hand like this, like I look like confused. And she
Right.
goes, "Here, let me show you." So she does it. She goes out and
Oh my
she's been working all morning already, and I couldn't even help to do that. You know. But long story short, we were driving to the airport, and there was not too many cars on the street, but all I could remember was that there's it's just all snowed out. You couldn't see the sidewalks, you
God.
couldn't see the road, you couldn't see anything. All I could remember was that all she's trying to do is just not hit the buildings, because you just see the buildings. That's it,
Mhm.
and you're just going down the road. There's nothing else you could do, because you can't see anything else. It's just all white out. So I
Yeah.
said, okay, that's probably not going to work. Yeah, so you stuck it out for 8 years, so I'm super super like impressed.
Thank you.
So anyway, let's get back onto our topics here. So you ended up back in Orange County, which is super great. And so tell us about how you ended up here, being the community services a commissioner, and also being involved with some of these volunteer projects that we're doing. And I mean, we don't mind if you talk about some of the other ones that were really, really done well and successful, that you really would like people to know about.
Sure. Um, when we decided to move back to California, I only had my eyes set on Irvine because it's, where my parents live. I grew up here, so I wasn't really looking anywhere else. And then I got really involved politically. Growing up here, I took it for granted, and I really didn't know what was going on. I didn't get involved. And then, I just noticed some changes. And so I started getting involved and paying attention more. And when the 2018 election came around, I wanted to just really do something different and start supporting candidates that I believed in. So, and Council Member Farrah Khan was one of those. So I was helping her campaign. And then when she got elected, so each of the council members gets to appoint commissioners and committee members. And she reached out to me and offered me this seat. And I wasn't expecting it. It was not something I was vying for. And but it was a great opportunity. And I feel like it fits in line with where my heart is. I love service. and community services is right up my alley. I grew up in a church here in Irvine, and we did a ton of community work, you know, whether it was with the homeless or whether it was driving down to Mexico, which was easier at the time to do, to serve there. So it's just something that was always a part of my life since a very young age. So, and I've been continuing to do that on the Community Services Commission. I got introduced, and I knew about it, but I didn't really know too much about it, the Meals on Wheels program. And that is a program for our homebound seniors who can't make their meals on their own or maybe go grocery shopping on their own. It's a wonderful program that's been around in Irvine for decades. And they're always looking for drivers. So if anyone has some time around lunchtime, it's a great way to serve our senior community. But right now, due to COVID-19, the volunteer drivers, we can't deliver the meals anymore. It's actually city staff who has taken on that load of work, and they've been doing so much work for our community. So our city staff, they're really awesome. But yeah, so once we started sheltering in place, you know, I was thinking, okay, I can't do that, but there's so much need, right? Right now, there's a lot of ways to serve our community. And so my friend and I were just thinking, okay, well, what can we do? And what's a simple, like, I don't know how to sew, so I can't make masks. You know, we can't really, and so, well, we thought making cards is something that anybody of any age can do, something simple. And we have 500 Meals on Wheels seniors right now that are participating in the program. So we thought, you know what, why not just reach out to the community and see if we can get this going? It's just a card making project, anybody can do it. And we just wanted 500, and we ended up getting over 1,000. And the momentum grew. I mean, we didn't anticipate this. I remember I sent an email to the council member saying, hi, we're planning on doing this project, you know, for our Meals on Wheels seniors here in Irvine. We're hoping we get 500. And if we're able to, we'd love to continue the program and the project and reach out to our healthcare workers next. And because of the first project just being such a big success, we did continue on and say, okay, we have 2 hospitals here in Irvine, Kaiser and Hoag, let's continue this. And along the way, more and more community groups and organizations reached out. We had one volunteer, she is a professional baker, and you know, things are a lot slower now because of COVID-19. And she said, you know what, I would love to bake for the healthcare workers. So we had to go through the hospitals and get approval, and Kaiser actually, they wanted her license information. They wanted all the ingredients. Everything had to be airtight sealed, but we were able to get approval, and she made 200 brownies for the healthcare workers right here at Kaiser and Irvine. So that was exciting. And then we had, you know, on our third project, so that was the healthcare workers was our second project. The third one was for our teachers, because one of the volunteers, actually, one of the mothers reached out and said, you know what, our teachers are going through so much. Can we make cards for them next? And coincidentally, it's Teacher Appreciation Week. So the timing just worked out. And I thought, well, this is a bit ambitious because we have over 40 schools, thousands of teachers. How are we going to do this? And the first 2 projects, we received over 1,000 cards for both, for the Meals on Wheels seniors and then our healthcare workers. And then the third one, we needed 1,700. And so we fell short, but what we did was we just divided them up by the number of schools and then just dropped them off. And then I tried to take, you know, pictures of some of the cards and post them on social media so that the teachers could go and look. And then we also just made a quick video of some of our Irvine Unified School District students sending us a little message to our teachers. So we just want to let them know, you know, there's so many people doing so much right now. And our teachers, you have to keep in mind, a lot of them have kids of their own, right? And they're home juggling that on top of their entire class, and switching to distance learning, you know, I don't envy them. It's a big task. And so just letting them know we really appreciate all that they're doing and their efforts during this difficult time. And yeah, so after that, I didn't expect to do 3 projects. So I just thought, you know, okay, we just finished that last week. So right now I'm taking a break. Other people have reached out with so many ideas. I mean, they want to love on our grocery workers. They want to love on our police department. And so once I, you know, catch my breath a little, I think we will probably continue this. So I will let you know, Leo.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all that stuff is super amazing. you mentioned a lot of things there. And I want to unpack a couple of things there.
Sure.
Hey, I see a bunch of people on here. If you're watching, please say hello. And if as you're watching, if you have any questions or anything like that for Branda, please let us know. Just go ahead and type it in the comments, and we'll be watching the comments there. But if you're just jumping on, Branda Lin is the Irvine Community Services Commissioner. And so she's just talking with us about the great projects that she's been involved in, and how that's come about and what that's about. I put some links up in the post, and if you want to, take a look at them, you can. But as we talk and anything comes to your mind, let us know. So tell us, one question I have for you is, the reason that couldn't deliver meals to the senior citizens anymore. Can you, maybe explain that a little bit?
Um, I don't recall. I wasn't given a reason why. I think it's just due to safety. They want to make sure that the least number of people, right, are approaching our seniors. And so they've really limited it down, and I'm sure they're taking every precaution needed to make sure that our seniors are safe, because they're the most vulnerable, right?
Okay. So just making sure that they have less contact, you know, with outside foods and stuff like that that could be contaminated, or, with virus and stuff like that. And so that just have to be some special care with that. And so they decided that it was too much risk.
Right. The food is all made at the Lakeview Senior Center in Woodbridge, and it's all packaged, sealed. They do all that there. But I think in terms of just having all these volunteer drivers, it's probably riskier. Right. And they can't control maybe what we're wearing, what we're doing in the procedure. So I think they wanted to just make sure it was really safe. And the people, city staffers who weren't doing this before, they got pulled in, and everyone has just been wonderful in stepping up and really serving our seniors in so many other ways in community services.
Right, because that wasn't their job to begin with, and
Right.
they weren't familiar with it, but they stepped up to do it anyways.
Yeah.
So, and then you mentioned earlier that if people wanted to volunteer to help drive, they can.
Yeah. So after COVID-19, once we're all allowed to be out again, we're out of quarantine. If you're interested, they're always looking for drivers. The commitment is once every other week during lunchtime. You just go to the scene. Well, first you would need to do a ride along with one of the drivers, and you can request me if you'd like, and I'll take you around happily. And then you have to get a live scan, and then they'll give you a route. And so you go to the senior center, you line up, and it's really well organized. The volunteers there will bring out, the hot meals and then the cold meals. You have your maps and your addresses that you need to, go deliver to, and then you go back and drop off the empty bags, and then you're done. But, it's been such a great experience, because a lot of these seniors, they don't see anybody sometimes all day. Sometimes you're the only one they see that day. And you don't want to, they try to tell you not to, for safety reasons, we can't go in and do more than provide the meals and, talk to them for a little. And even though you'd want to, sometimes, I want to stay and just chat for the afternoon, because it's just nice. They are sitting at home. They love seeing you. Some of them are so thankful. One senior, every time I go, I feel so bad because I'm just delivering a meal. I'm not doing very much, but she wants to thank me, and she goes out of her way, and it's hard for her to get up, and it's hard for her to open containers, but she needs to give me like a cracker or a cookie or something. And I'm always telling her, no, it's okay. No, thank you. I'm fine. But she's insistent because she's so appreciative. And I feel like she's doing a lot more for me than I am for her. I'm just dropping off a meal. So it's a wonderful program. They have them nationwide, and they're always looking for drivers. Our population has increased, so much, since we have 280,000 residents, and actually we have a lot of seniors in Irvine. And so if you're looking for ways to serve our community, that's one great way. You can go to the city's website.
Yeah, for sure. This is one of the reasons we love Irvine. It's just the diversity and the size and everything. It's one of the largest cities here in Orange County, and it's still continued to grow. But due to the fact that the planning was done so well, all the amenities and everything is like at its highest level. So we love Irvine so much. But I really appreciate what you're sharing with the seniors, and of course they just feel compelled, to give and connect, and they want to connect with people that are helping them and are, they feel like they're being kept watch and somebody cares and all that stuff. So it's super, super, heartwarming. So let's talk about the cards a little bit. So you guys came up with this idea about doing the cards. Now, when you guys came up with the idea, had you like researched somewhere and somebody else did it or anything like that? Or was just something that you guys, because I have no idea if anybody else in the country or in the world do this. So give us some insights about that.
Yeah, we just came up with the idea. I mean, so many of my friends and neighbors were reaching out and they're like, what can we do? And actually my neighbor across the street reached out saying, you know what, this was when it was hard to get toilet paper. So she was like, you know what, the seniors can't leave and they're, they're vulnerable. This is before they had senior hours, in the morning at the grocery stores and all, when everyone was looking for toilet paper. And she said, they need it too. And maybe we can, give them rolls of toilet paper, like donate that. So I was looking into that with the city, but they needed to make sure that they were all individually wrapped. And sometimes, you buy the ones that are in the packs that aren't individually wrapped. And so they couldn't accept those. And we were trying to make it work. And I was like, well, maybe we can wrap them individually for you, the city. And they were saying, no, for safety reasons, they couldn't accept those. So, all these people are trying to find ways, they have a heart to serve. And the cards, we just thought, yeah, this is easy. And we really didn't think much of it. We just thought, sounds easy. Let's reach out to friends throughout the city and see if people are interested. And, that there was a lot of interest and a lot of compassion that was shared. Those cards, I mean, because of COVID, I couldn't distribute them out to the volunteers. They all ended up coming to me and I counted them and took pictures of them. And so I got to read all of them.
Oh.
And I was, in my garage tearing up. And they weren't even for me, it was so beautiful and just really heartwarming and encouraging. And we all need that. We can't be there physically, but that's, words are impactful. Words are so powerful. And so, just these simple cards that children, that were 3 or, even seniors that wrote letters, not necessarily a card, and wrote a letter to their fellow senior neighbors. I mean, they were just so uplifting. And then
at some point, I love hearing that. And at some point, maybe you can share some of those photos of cards if you can, and I can share it to my group so that they can see, some of those things that down after the interview and stuff like that. Maybe we can show some of that stuff because
they're on Facebook and Instagram under the Smiles Project Irvine. So, but yeah, there are a lot more. I couldn't take pictures of all of them. I wish I could have, but yeah, there are enough to make you feel.
Yeah, and all of you guys watching, if you can imagine, like, hey, you're a senior citizen, you're at a care center or something like that, and you don't know how to work the technology, so you can connect with people, you can, talk with your family, maybe you can get on the phone, but that's about it. And if they call you and connect and stuff like that, but you wouldn't be able to see them. So I think that whatever we can do for them, we should all try to do if we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are some of the projects that were done, and we're taking a break. I love hearing that the project was such a success overall because it was 3 rounds of it, right? Am I correct?
3 projects, yes.
Yeah. So there were 3 rounds of it, and so there maybe could be possibly as we go forward that more the projects can be relaunched and kind of go through the process and even getting them out more efficiently and getting more cards. One of the things I wanted to share was that through this COVID-19 thing, there's this new show that's being streamed on YouTube. It's called Some Good News.
Oh yes, John Krasinski.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And so like I stumbled upon it one time, and I go, oh my God, this is just so great, because it's all about good news. So these cards in this project is like reminds me like this is the good news. So this should be like a little segment on his show just to show.
I think actually my friend submitted it or tagged it or something.
Yeah,
he's like, awesome. I'm gonna let him know.
Yeah, that's awesome. And people have time, they're home, they want to do something, they want to work on some kind of creative project that they don't normally used to normally be able to do when they were all working and busy and all that kind of stuff. So it's perfect. So I look forward, to the next one. Thank you everybody for watching right now. Brenda, um, I'm super inspired with the ideas that you're giving. I hope we're going to come up with more ideas that we can all, jump in and help out with. We can always, find you on social media and Facebook and stuff like that. But what I always ask people on the show is that now you already touched on some of it, okay, but maybe we can get a little more specific on what do you really, really love about where you live?
About where I live.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there's so much. What isn't there to love? I love our parks. One of the main reasons I wanted to come back, you don't find this many neighborhood parks, community parks anywhere, and they're so well maintained. And having little ones, it was a dream. With sandboxes, you don't get sandboxes in the East Coast. So the parks, the safety, the diversity, food, the weather, the proximity to the beaches, the proximity to, if you want to go snowboarding, it's all here. I just have so much love and appreciation for Irvine in particular, and Orange, Southern California. I'm a SoCal girl at heart, and yeah, I think it's the best place to live. I'm biased, but it's the best.
Oh yeah, if people have never been to Irvine or have never lived in Irvine specifically, it's hard to know everything. Irvine is like I said, one of the largest cities, and all the amenities are like complete. Like the entire city, wherever you live in Irvine, all have those amenities because they have put down plans to say, hey, for however many homes we need to have, shopping center, or how many parks, or however many acres of residential or commercial, we need to have this many wild and open spaces for trails and wild parks and things like that. So it's never like you go into one area and it's like completely covered with, commercial stuff and all that kind of stuff. So it's extremely well planned. And one of the things I'll mention is that, you have kids and that Irvine has the best schools in the country, and it's not just like, kindergarten or elementary, is all the way up to the university level. So people love raising their kids here because they know they'll get the best education possible.
Right.
And they don't, some parents, they want their kids to be, here for the colleges and stuff like that, so they don't have to, move away and all that kind of stuff. But for education, I think it's a really super great place to raise children. And because of that, as a real estate agent, the demand for housing is extremely high. Prices have been going up just because of the demand. And we are building out the Great Park neighborhoods as fast as construction can move to get more people into the city. So it's a growing, vibrant city, and also the largest, most business-friendly city of all of Orange County. So I'll just fill that in because that's part of the business. There's so many things about Irvine. I just think that a lot of people just don't know, and so I do my best to kind of let people know. I get on social media sometimes and tell people about the different neighborhoods and things like that, and they could consider moving there or living there. And I'll continue to do that because there's so many neighborhoods, in Irvine to choose from, and there's a neighborhood for like every kind of person you are.
Right. And you can't go wrong, even with the schools. I mean, I know a lot of parents will say, what's the best school or what's the best elementary? You can't go wrong. They're all top notch. And, it just depends on the vibe, right? Woodbridge is different from Cypress Village. It's different from Turtle Rock. So but yeah, what's wonderful and unique about Irvine is that, there's really no bad neighborhood. You can't go wrong anywhere, really.
Not at all. They're all at least 9.5, or 10 out of 10. So like, I mean, the difference between 9.5, and 10, that's like, very minimal. And it's just really up to you, like what neighborhood resonates, with
Right.
you. So,
Right.
So anybody out there want to know more about neighborhoods, just let me know. Shoot me a message, and I'd be happy to do that. So one of the traditions that we have on the show is that we ask our guests to share a quote that they absolutely love. But before I do that, many of you may or may not know, I run a Facebook group called the Wisdom Club. And Brenda was just asking me because she said quotes are one of her favorite things in the world. And she just loved reading quotes and loved sharing and also discovering new quotes. So if you guys are out there, you guys want to check it out, I'll put a link down in the comments when we're done here. But Brenda has a quote for us, and so go ahead.
Sure. And just in the spirit of the Smiles Project Irvine that we started, this is a quote from Coretta Scott King. "The greatness of a community is most accurately measured by the compassionate actions of its members." And I have to say, there are a lot of compassionate members in Irvine, and it's just a wonderful community to live in and to serve. And yeah, it's a real privilege to be here.
Well, wonderful. I think we all can really take a lot out of that quote. For me, community is the most important thing. I was just speaking with one of our guests yesterday, and her husband suddenly, they're only in their 40s, had discovered that he had brain cancer. And through some miracle, somebody in the community had referred him to a specialist that has a special treatment that caused him to really reduce the cancer, that he's able to live longer. Otherwise, without that procedure, then he would not be here. And so she's super grateful. If you guys want to check that out, it's yesterday's episode on my Facebook feed, so you can check that out. But so, community is really important. You never know, who can step up to help you in whatever different ways. And we all need that connection, like we were talking about with the seniors. So really appreciate that. Really appreciate all the work they're doing, Brenda, and holding our communities together even through this hard time. Good thing that you weren't on the East Coast when all this is happening, because it doesn't look as good over there.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, we have a lot of friends who actually are in the medical profession out there, and it's tough.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your community service. I hope to continue to stay in touch with you and maybe have you back when the next project goes up.
Sure. Thank you for having me. This was great.
You're welcome. Thank you, Brenda, and have a good day. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching, and we will see you tomorrow. Feel free to comment if you have any questions or any comments about what we are talking about here with the Smiles Project, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.